Hey everybody, happy Friday. What's going on? What's everybody eating for lunch? I haven't had anything yet. I'm so hungry and I intended to get to eat before I started this live, but oh well. Oh well for me. What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Y'all, I was so tired. Okay, let me tell you guys something right off the top. So, couple of things. I thought today was Jalen and Charlotte Pendergrass, and apparently they had court last week and I missed it, or maybe like, did they? I think they had court like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, and they're not having court again until April. So, and then it also has like a trial date. So, go figure. Which I'm not saying I don't believe. It's quite possible cuz I mean, we've been monitoring cases that just have been dragging out and cities where there's backlog and stuff like that or still trying to overcome tremendous backlog and things of that nature. So some of these areas of the country where trials and cases move expeditiously are kind of like, really, that's so fast. But you know, so I don't know, but I've got my eyes on it. So I'm monitoring closely the situation. So anyway, just to let you guys know, because I know I talked about it a couple times yesterday, but I was wrong. I was not, the funny thing is you just got to keep your eyes on what's going on because sometimes things get adjourned or the calendars get switched around. So it's like you got to just kind of keep looking and making sure um what's going on. Anyway, I didn't know what you guys wanted to talk about today. I had a couple things in mind, but I just said, you know what, let me just go ahead and hit the go live and see what's going on. I know yesterday we talked a little bit about recapping yesterday a little bit. I feel like we covered yesterday, but the thing that sticks out in my mind, of course, was Annette. Was the standout in terms of just the showboat of it all. And then, of course, Tawana Butts came through with such a moving impact statement. Um, and then also, before we even watched Jarvis's sentencing, girl, that Diamond Vaden, if you had not seen that video, you guys, this woman is absolutely the judge was so methodical in the way that he was questioning her during her sentencing, and she just went down the drain and dragged additional people with her to where it was just kind of insane. Also, I know that there's a couple of jail calls that we have not got to yet. Some Ernest Williams, some good old Ernest Williams jail calls, and one I already listened to and the other one I did not. So, um you guys tell me. Let's see who's here. We have it's happy Friday. I know. It's the beginning of the weekend. So, do you guys have should I make it chef's choice and let you guys be chef and you guys tell me what you guys want to do today cuz I don't have a preference. So, is there something do I need to put up a poll to let y'all vote, or can y'all come to one accord in the chat? What do we want to do today? Since it's Friday, and I really don't have a preference. I did pull the police report for Joshua McGraff, the guy who was found with the girl in Florida. He's the 37-year-old who said that the girl was his cousin. I pulled that police report. I'm just like, I'm gonna have to. Yeah. Well, that's look. I halfway believe that. It's like I half believe it. I believe it, but I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, isn't girl? Diamond Vaden was everything, all sentencing. Can you believe that? Was that not incredible? It's incredible. It is absolutely insane. It was everything. That judge should do a full-on train the trainer or, best practices. Let's say best practices. But he should train the trainer. He should train people who mentor new judges because he was so measured and calm and resolute and all of the things. He was so good. JMM, thank you so much, dear. I appreciate you, hun. Girl, let me give you a little bit of for supporting. Thank you for gifting a friend. Okay. Let's see who got a membership. Hold on. Let's see. It was crazy. So if you're not familiar, it was in the morning before we got into Jarvis. Diamond Vaden is the young lady who was just convicted. She stood up, she pled guilty. Is it Gail 8611? Gail 8611? Gail, you just got a membership, sis. Okay. Um, get in there and enjoy some member content. Okay. Um, and we typically have a member live at least once a week, but sometimes, it just happens that we do a little bit more, but there's always member content to get in there and enjoy. So I hope that thank you so much for jumping into the chat. And thank your good sis JMM 5510 who gifted a friend. Okay. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. That was crazy. Did you guys see that? All right, let's talk about this real quick before we get into anything else. This guy right here, which I don't want to show his, hold on. Let's do this. This dude right here, hold on. If you guys want to go revisit Diamond for a minute and then I'll read her actual police report, the actual narrative of what they said happened. We didn't do a lot of coverage on it initially, but at the end of the day, she's going to Ohio Women's Penitentiary, Ohio Department of Corrections. Okay, let me share my screen. Hold on. Let me talk to you guys about this. This will give a little bit more detail to Homie the Clown, who thought that he was going to run around with somebody's daughter and not get busted. Okay. This was some foolishness. You guys saw his body cam video, did you not? Hold on, let me see. All right, give me just a second, guys. Is this okay? Okay. Hopefully this works. All right, it's not cooperating with me. Let me do. It's like, come on, StreamYard, give me. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me pull up the report. Okay. Okay. All right, so this is who we're talking about. I don't think there's anything on here that needs to be redacted, but let me just go through this. The defendant, Joshua McGraff, and they spelled it wrong. Like they spelled it McGraff, and then they also spelled it MA. Not that that makes a difference to us, but at the end of the day, it's going to make a difference to somebody. But this is, let me read to you guys the police report. Okay. Can y'all see this? Okay. So the defendant Joshua McGraff did without lawful authority knowingly or recklessly take, entice, aid, abet, hire, or otherwise procure another to take the victim, a child less than 18 years old of age, or incompetent person from the custody of their parent, guardian, or other lawful custodian or public agency having the child of said having the charge of said child or incompetent person contrary to the state of the Florida statute 787.03. This is the probable cause statement. The defendant Joshua did possess 10 or more similar false, altered, forged, or counterfeit notes, bills of credit, bank bills, checks, drafts, or notes payable to the bearer thereof to the order of any person knowing the same to be false. So he had counterfeit money on him. The defendant Joshua McGraff, and who am I talking about? This guy right here. Okay. Just a second. The defendant, Joshua McGraff, was knowingly in actual and constructive possession of any part of any plant of a genus cannabis known as hashish, a controlled substance, whether growing or not, the seeds thereof, the resin extracted from any part of a cannabis plant or compound manufacturer salt derivative mixture. So I think they observed him with some sort of a vape. The defendant, Joshua McGraff, was knowingly in actual or constructive possession of 20 grams or less of material compound mixture of cannabis known as marijuana. Also, Joshua McGraff did use and possess with the intent a bag of drug paraphernalia, planting, propagating, cultivating, growing, harvesting. He had pot. Okay. The defendant, Joshua McGraff, unlawfully consumed marijuana, which tended to cause, encouraged, and contributed to a victim, a child, to become delinquent and dependent and left child in need of services contrary to Florida Statute 827. So, to wit, on March 9th, 2026, at approximately 21:40 hours, I, Deputy Chewing, conducted a lawful traffic stop on a white 1999 Lincoln Town car bearing Tennessee tag PD 65403 near the intersection of South Highway 17 and Citron Avenue in Crescent City. Upon contacting the driver, identified as Joshua McGraff, I advised him of the reason for the stop and requested that he produce a driver's license and the vehicle's registration of proof of insurance. Joshua produced his driver's license. While speaking with Joshua, I detected a strong odor, which through my law enforcement training and experience recognized to be an odor of marijuana emitting from the vehicle. I observed a female passenger seated in the front passenger seat of the vehicle. I requested the passenger provide her identification. The passenger advised that she did not have any identification on her person, and then I requested that she provide her personal identification information. I asked Joshua how he knew the passenger, to which he advised that was his younger cousin. The passenger provided identification information that appeared to be fictitious. She stated that she was 16 years of age. However, the date of birth she provided would have made her 12 years of age at the time. I entered the provided information into the NCIC, FCIC databases, which returned no record found. I then requested that the passenger write down her personal identifying information. The passenger provided a different name than the one she provided previously. Based on the inconsistencies in the information provided, I established the reasonable suspicion to believe that the passenger was intentionally providing fictitious information to hinder law enforcement from properly identifying her. Through my training and experience in law enforcement, it is common for individuals with active warrants or those attempting to avoid law enforcement contact to provide fictitious identifying information to conceal their identity. I provided the passenger with a clear, lawful command to exit the vehicle. The passenger was hesitant but initially resistant to complying. I then removed the passenger from the vehicle and secured her in handcuffs. After being detained, the passenger provided another fictitious name and then asked to identify herself and if she possibly had a warrant for her arrest. A short time later, the passenger confirmed her true identity, which I relayed to Putnam County Sheriff's Office Communications Bureau. A short time later, communications advised that the passenger was a juvenile and had been entered in missing out of Gastonia, North Carolina. I then read Joshua his constitutional rights. Joshua advised that he understood his rights and agreed to waive them and speak with law enforcement without an attorney present. Okay. I asked Joshua how he knew the passenger. Joshua stated that he met the passenger approximately 1 month ago in Charlotte, North Carolina, while he was staying at a hotel. Joshua advised that the passenger told him she was 19 years old and that she had been traveling with him ever since. I then read Joshua his constitutional rights and advised him that Joshua advised that he understood his rights and agreed to waive them and speak to law enforcement without an attorney present. So he read him his rights one more time. I asked Joshua how he knew the passenger. He stated that he met the passenger approximately 1 month ago in Charlotte while he stayed at a hotel room. Joshua advised that the passenger told him she was 19. I know I'm reading this again, but it's stating it for a second time. That she was 19 years old and that she had been traveling with him ever since. Additionally, Joshua had a strong odor of marijuana emitting from his person. Based on the odor, I conducted a probable cause search of Joshua's person, which yielded an electronic cigarette containing a dark amber colored liquid. Through my training and experience in law enforcement, the substance appeared to be consistent with hashish. I asked Joshua if the item was a THC cigarette, to which he confirmed. Joshua stated that he purchased the items from a store. He said from, quote unquote, the store. Lieutenant Fussell contacted the juvenile's mother. I'm going to just say they identified the juvenile's mother's name. I'm not going to reveal that. That's kind of why I didn't have it on the screen. Identified as blank, who confirmed that she did not know Joshua and did not give him permission to take or transport the juvenile. A subsequent probable cause search of the vehicle resulted in the following items of evidentiary value being located: a bag fashioned in the shape of a fried chicken drumstick. A bag fashioned in the shape of a fried chicken drumstick containing green leafy substance. Based on my training experience in law enforcement, the substance was identified as marijuana. 20 counterfeit $100 bills. All the bills displayed the same serial number and did not contain any markings or wording identification as they intended for motion picture or filming purposes. Joshua confirmed that he was aware the bills inside, confirmed he was aware the bills were inside of his vehicle and stated that his son uses them to film videos. A pink grinder. What is this, the new thing implicating people? You're all the way in Florida with a teenager on the side of the road getting stopped, and you've got counterfeit $100 bills, and you as a grown-ass man are implicating your own child in this money that you have, why would you do that? Why just I don't it's in my car. I don't know. I don't know why he would implicate his own son, but whatever. Anyway, a pink grinder containing a green leafy substance. Based on my training and experience, the grinder was identified as drug paraphernalia commonly used to grind marijuana prior to consumption. An electric cartridge located inside the glove box containing a dark amber colored liquid. Through my training and experience in law enforcement, the substance appeared to be consistent with hash or hashish. It should be noted that Joshua advised that he and the juvenile had smoked marijuana and used the grinder to prepare it. Joshua was placed under arrest and transported to Putnam County Jail. Now he seems to be still in custody at this moment. This is the guy who we've seen on the internet. I did a video, let me see, of him getting pulled over, and we talked about it. Hold on. But I just found the police report and I wanted to share those additional details. I mean, I don't know, I feel like his bail should be higher. I'm sure they probably have to finish interviewing her and find out exactly what happened before they can charge him with any additional crimes. But I guess they have enough for right now. Is this Putnam? Okay, just 1 second, guys. Let's see. All right, hold on just a second. You guys have seen this video before, but we'll watch it one more time. If you haven't seen this, this is who we were just talking about. Hopefully you guys can see this on the screen. Okay.
What's up, my brother? How are you? How you doing? Good. I'm Deputy Trini with the Sheriff's Office, man. How's everyone doing this evening?
About yourself?
Good, man. I can't complain. Young lady, you wouldn't happen to have your ID on you, would you?
No, sir. That's my little cousin.
That's your cousin?
Yes, sir.
When he said, "No, that's my little cousin," I mean a mess. Just a mess.
What? 16?
Yes, sir.
What's your name, young lady?
Huh?
Your name?
Huh?
Your name?
My name is Brandy Lewis.
Let me tell you something. I know her real name, and it couldn't be any further from Brandy Lewis. Okay, it's in no way, shape, or form anything like that.
Brandy Lewis? Hey, Brandy. So, do you want to be... Here's the thing. Right, the name and the information you gave me doesn't come back to anything. So, I need you to write your full name and your birthday right on this pad of paper for me, okay? Who's that young lady to you?
That's my friend.
That's your friend.
I met her on Friday.
This is so embarrassing that he says he met her in Charlotte. This is such a bad look for the whole entire city. And I'm sure he's not the only one, but I'm so embarrassed that this guy is from my city.
In Charlotte. How old are you? You're 37. And you're friends with a 16-year-old girl? Yeah, she gave me like 3 different names, 3 birthdays. So where were you guys headed to?
Right now?
Yeah.
Orlando.
Orlando.
Yes, sir.
What's in Orlando?
Hopefully some arcade.
He said, hopefully some arcades. You're driving all the way to Orlando to go see some arcades. Let me tell you something else too. So on the police report, you know, I had to get kind of a little bit nosy. So on the police report, they have this as the address, allegedly. This is the address listed on his police report. This is a retirement tower. This is a 55 and over building. This is like a tower specifically for seniors. This is run by the housing department of Charlotte-Mecklenburg. Charlotte-Mecklenburg Housing Authority, and it's like specifically a age restricted property for people 55 and over, and it's also income based. Sir, you don't live there, and if you do live there, you must be living with somebody, but he said he was staying at a hotel, but this is the address he gave. It's like, sir, you don't stay there. You do not stay at Irwin Tower. I had to look it up. It's like either you stay here or you stay across the street. This is 210 10th Street, and this is 201. I was like, I know he's not staying at these apartments. These apartments are well over $2,000 a month. And then this is income-based senior housing. So I'm just like, sir, you're still lying to the police officers but then he said something in the police report that he was staying at a hotel. So I don't know which one it is, but it's a mess. I'm keeping my eye on this to see if he gets charged in the state of North Carolina. And they also said that he could be getting some federal charges potentially because this is a minor and we don't know what he was doing with her. Apparently, they called the parents. She has been reunited with her mother, but we don't know what was happening to her. This man's 37 years old and he was smoking pot with this girl and she was on the road with him for a month, just running up and down the highways. God only knows what he was doing with that girl. And I'm sure they're going to have to really get this information from her very carefully to find out what was actually going on. But this is a whole mess. But I've been using my best nosy skills to see what I could find out. So I got my eye on sir, and he's still in jail. Let me see. Did I pull up he's still in jail. I just want to be careful because that address, which I did kind of show the building. But he is still booked. Let me show you. He's still booked in. Okay. At this moment, he's still booked in and it says no bond. So I don't think they're letting him go, even though the offenses that he has. Let me just scroll up past that. Even though his offenses. Oh, did they give him a no contact CID? Ooh, girl, this is something different. Contact CID Detective DeVille before release. CID detective. Oh, they putting a hold on him. Okay, charges coming soon. Okay. They said contact Detective DeVille before release. Okay, that's some good, interesting new news. Sir, you're not getting out no time soon, sir. They said contact Detective DeVille in North Carolina. Okay. I wonder if that is Charlotte or Gastonia. I would imagine it would be Gaston County because that's where she's from. We don't know. I don't know. He said he met her in Charlotte. She's from Gastonia, so I guess I don't know. I guess they'll figure out where the actual situation took place where she got into a vehicle with him or they made some sort of contact that would be felonious. I don't know if the initial contact on the computer would be the initial felony or if he said things to her or he communicated some things. I'm sure they're going all through her phone, his phone, if they could get it. He's done. He's in some trouble. So this is interesting. Doesn't he sound like a little bit of a Nesto? Yeah, you said move over Nesto because there's more cases. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's lots going on. Move over Nesto. I think, Nesto is interesting because we have all of the jail calls. I mean, jail calls is kind of like a treat. The thing is we just can't get jail calls on everybody. And because of I'm gonna just say it how I want to say it. Because of unprofessional shenanigans, um, some places are going to, people, the restraints have been tightened anyway, but some places where you could get some information, it's being more heavily scrutinized because people are out here doing way too much. And I mean, it's one thing, criminals, people who are accused of crimes, obviously they have rights, but when you start infringing on victims, that's definitely not cool. Whether you believe that the defendant is innocent or not, um, infringing on the victims, especially where there has been a death involved and things of that nature, it's just not good. It's absolutely awful. So make beauty forever stop. Okay. All right, hold on a second. Let me tell you about a couple other things. This is what I was kind of doing this morning. If you guys want to know what I was kind of working on this morning, my research. Hold on, let me see. Did I post this? Let me post this on my Facebook. If you're not following me on Facebook, Facebook gives you some hints of where my head is at, in terms of what I'm working on and things of that nature. So hold on, let me see if I can find. So there was this girl who had did you guys hear about the girl from Alabama who had a fight on the plane and got arrested in her name is Ebony Harper. Hold on. Let me pull it up. They were coming from Puerto Rico on their way to Atlanta, and a fight broke out on the plane, so they had to stop in Miami. And hold on. Just a second. It was weird. Okay. Let's see. Well, let me just read to you the police report. Hold on. Okay. Do I have her picture? Okay, hold on a second. Let me pull this up. They said brawl breaks out midair on Jet 2 flight. I think it was Frontier Airlines or something. Hold on. Let's see. So let's just take a look at this real quick. Okay, y'all, this is Miss Ebony. Okay. So it says Caribbean getaway turned into midair nightmare Monday when Alabama woman allegedly went berserk they said she went berserk. Let me pull this over here so I can make it bigger. Okay. Let's see. Caribbean getaway turned mid-air nightmare Monday when Alabama woman allegedly went berserk on a pair of seniors, forcing the flight to make an emergency diversion. Ebony Harper, 31, standing just 4'11", is trading her airplane seat for a jail cell after a disagreement turned into fistfight at 30,000 feet. The chaos kicked off on Frontier Flight 2089 from Luis Munoz Marin International Airport in Puerto Rico to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport as the plane cruised towards the mainland. According to an arrest affidavit reviewed by Fox News Digital, Harper was headed to the back of the aircraft to use the restroom, but ended up getting way too close for comfort with a fellow passenger identified as Jimmy Lee Baker. This is the person right here, Ebony Harper. Witnesses say Harper leaned her body right into Baker, who was sitting in the very last row when the uncomfortable traveler asked the Alabama woman to move her arm off his back. Things quickly deteriorated. Instead of apologizing, police say Harper allegedly reached out and began touching Baker's face with her hands. That's when his wife, identified as Lakeisha Baker, stepped in. Lakeisha told Harper to back off her husband, and Harper allegedly began touching the wife's face too. I wonder if she was drunk. Lakeisha reportedly struck Harper, and Harper began swinging back. The airborne fistfight took another turn after a fourth passenger, identified as Annette Baker, tried to play peacemaker. She told police that Harper turned towards her and began striking her numerous times with a closed fist directly in her face. The flight was diverted to Miami International Airport, where a welcoming committee of FBI agents and TSA officials was waiting at the gate to remove Harper from the aircraft. The Federal Aviation Administration confirmed the incident to Fox News Digital and said it was continuing to investigate. Is that crazy? Y'all, okay, hold on. All right, let's look at this real quick. So it says deputy responded to Miami International Airport, reference to a battery between passengers on Frontier Airline 2089 from San Juan to Atlanta. The aircraft was diverted to Miami International Airport due to a physical altercation. Contact was made with victims, Mr. Jimmy Lee Baker and Lakeisha Baker, who stated they were sitting in the last row of the aircraft. The defendant walked to the restroom and leaned on Mr. Jimmy Baker. He asked the defendant to move her arm from his back. The defendant touched the victim's face with her hand. Mr. Jimmy Baker's wife, Lakeisha Baker, asked once again for the defendant to stop touching her husband. At that point, the defendant touched Lakeisha Baker's face. The victim, Lakeisha Baker, struck the defendant, and the defendant struck the victim. The physical altercation took place while in flight after leaving San Juan. The victim, another victim, Annette Baker, stated that she attempted to stop the fight and the defendant struck her numerous times with a closed fist in her face. The victim did not have visible injuries. She advised that she wanted to press charges. The FBI agent Kenneth Jaramillo responded at the gate. Transportation Security Agency agent Michael Turner and Adam Wazinski responded to the location. Sergeant D. Maher, badge 2714 A2100, was advised of the incident. The defendant was taken into custody without incident. She was transported to TGK. Medical attention was not needed. Victims did not have visible injuries. All passengers were denied traveling. What? So they had to figure out how to get home. Ugh. All passengers were denied traveling. So the Bakers had to figure out how to get home. I mean, that's a good way to get on a no-fly list. Fighting in a plane. I don't even know. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Can you believe that? That's why you stay home. It's, I like to travel and everything, but I don't even want to engage anymore. Like, unless someone is visibly friendly, but it's really crazy. And maybe she was drinking. That could be a reason. I mean, look how she's got almost one eye open and one eye closed. I mean, she might have been drinking. I'm not sure how you could be touching a grown man and not realize that your hands are all over his back, and he asks you to stop, and then his wife has to ask you to stop, and then you get mad. She had to be drunk. I mean, there are plenty of people who really can't do anything, and they feel like when they feel like they're on vacation, they have to have a drink. They have to stop and get a cocktail. They have to get a little mixed beverage, and they have to be, you know, oh, welcome, 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 welcome to all of the new subscribers. Thank you so much. Everybody new, welcome, welcome, welcome. That's crazy, right? That is why you stay home. Teeth needs to go sit down. Well. Petty Patty, I would not be surprised if something is coming. I'm trying to keep my eye on it. Yesterday, when I looked up Joshua, that note wasn't on there, and now that is. So obviously, this is what I would say. Clearly, someone in North Carolina is talking to the folks down in Florida. So it's looking like things are happening. Maybe they've gotten the girl to the forensic interviewer. I'm sure they asked her some questions, but they probably had to be careful because obviously she was not with her family. But if her mom gave her, you know, we don't know what happened, but I would imagine they would try to get information from her as fresh as possible. At least some things, considering she was already trying to withhold information, you know, from law enforcement. She's trying to protect that guy. We're talking about this guy right now. So I don't know, but yeah. Crazy, right? Let me see. I don't know if there's any news stories about this. Let's see if there's anything on here. Oh, and then we'll watch we've got this too. I queued this up, but just hold on a second. Well, let me see. Okay. All right, let's pivot real quick. So I don't know if you guys have been following this story or not. The football player, Darron Lee, who is now in custody, he's accused of killing his girlfriend. Let's pivot, but they actually just released some body cam footage of when they got to the house. So this gives a little bit of information about what happened. The thing that came out this week, if you've been following this, you may have heard that there was someone who has been alleged and charged with killing their girlfriend, who consulted Chat GPT for answers on what they should do. So it's even gone like a further level of stupid with some of these criminals. Rather than just Googling answers, now people are consulting Chat GPT on like what to do, which I'm just mystified that this guy did this. But they also, there's some body cam footage of when they got to the scene and all of the things. So let's get into it, and I'll give you guys a little bit more background once this video is over. So let's get into this real quick.
Artificial intelligence looms over a murder case in Chattanooga as prosecutors break down what they say happened in the hours after Gabriella Perpetua's death.
Sarah Howard takes a look at how chatbot entries could influence the case against Darron Lee. But first, need to warn you here, the story could be disturbing for some to watch.
Former NFL player Darron Lee is accused of killing his girlfriend inside of this Ottawa home. But what's under scrutiny isn't just what investigators say happened here. It's what prosecutors say was typed into a chatbot before police arrived.
She's wasn't saying anything. That's why I called 911 immediately. Don't look at what is going on.
In this newly released body camera video, you can hear Lee tell deputies he doesn't know what happened.
What the hell happened? Like, I was sleeping a long time.
But prosecutors presented more than body camera video in court. They also introduced messages they say Lee sent to ChatGPT.
I wake up and she has 2 swollen eyes. I didn't do anything self-inflicted. She stabbed herself, split her eye.
That's a detective reading messages prosecutors say were sent the day before Lee called 911. Prosecutors also displayed the AI tool's response, which included the line, "Here's what to say," without framing it as police trouble. District Attorney Cody Womp told the court Lee used ChatGPT as a, quote, legal advisor.
He has conversations, dozens of conversations back and forth with ChatGPT over a 2-day period about what he did to Gabriella Perpetua in detail. He asks how to cover it up. He asks what to say to 911.
Prosecutors say those exchanges help establish.
Y'all, he needed a scenario and he needed a script. He needed to know what to say. He asked ChatGPT to tell him what to say to the police and how to frame it. And ChatGPT failed. They
timeline of events, something the head of UTC's criminal justice department says raises broader questions.
The use of AI in criminal activity is something we're increasingly dealing with in the courts.
Dr. Rick Darron points to this recent federal ruling where a judge found conversations with a public AI platform are not protected by attorney-client privilege.
That's not privileged information. It's a third-party platform. So you've, in effect, waived your confidentiality. These user agreements, when you sign those, you're actually publishing anything that you entered there publicly.
Sarah Hauer, News Channel 9.
And Dr. Darron.
Hold on just a second. Before we watch the body cam video, then let me just tell you guys this. Does this go back to this is a more recent article. Okay. Let me, I think I have the actual police report narrative. I just don't have it on my desktop right now. It's yours. Okay. Let me see. Okay, let me pull that while this is playing. Okay.
Feld adds, as more people use AI instead of traditional search engines, courts will likely see more digital conversations introduced as evidence in criminal trials.
Look at all that luminol. This is them in his house.
And another note, investigators used Blue Star evidence to highlight parts of the crime scene at today's hearing. Blue Star is a chemical that reacts to blood. Defense attorneys challenge the reliability of that testing. Lee remains in custody without bond. In recent weeks, Perpetua's family filed a $50 million wrongful death lawsuit against Lee.
I think it'll pop on.
So you can see the date up here. This is February 5th, 2026. And this is body cam footage shows former NFL player speaking with officers moments after and coming to his home after he reported to 911 that his girlfriend was deceased in the house. And he was trying to claim he did not know anything of what happened.
Looks like it's just coming from the other
She take like painkillers or anything like that? Is she? Yeah, I don't know. Okay. She always takes her vitamins or whatever. I have no idea. I was just so serious. I can hang out when we see you, okay? Where's your phone? We'll go right outside. We'll talk another. Yes, fine. Tell me what, so what's going on? You said you were up there sleeping.
Yeah, I was asleep.
Okay, what was she doing last time you saw her? Do you know around what time you saw her last?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if she I guess went to take a shower. And that's it. I was knocked out.
Around what time was that? Did you work last night or?
No, I don't know.
Okay. What's with all the broken stuff in there?
The glass just shattered because we left the window open, and so when it got warm, we reheated the house. It just like exploded. So I was just cleaning that up. So that was before I was falling asleep.
Okay.
I thought she was gonna come down and like finish it up from the dustpan, but then I come back down, and then this is what happened. Is she okay? Is she okay?
I didn't work on it. I don't know. So you said that, okay, so explain, so the window was open, so the house froze?
Yeah, it was cold. I didn't know that she like had it open, and so that just shattered. But like nothing was like.
So then when you close the window, turn the heat on?
It just like, you know how it like shrinks and expands. That's all. That's all I know. She okay?
They're still working on it. What is what's her last name?
Perpetua.
How do you spell that?
Perpetuo.
Her first name?
Gabriella. Gabriella.
Do you know her birthday?
Yes, 8/19/1996.
That's all.
I don't know that this is how to do what I do know from I think it was like last week or second day here. She had slipped. We were trying to get a bath mat. So I know she's like, I caught myself like before, that's what my bathroom exploded. But I don't know what happens in shower. She takes long showers, like really long showers, and I have absolutely no idea. Please go. I can offer with that.
We got to grab a charger.
He sounds crazy, doesn't he? He sounds like he's off his medication.
Oh my God, babe. I see something in the closet. Oh my God, Dad.
What is it you're looking for?
Looking for a big block.
license plate? Yeah, the vehicle. Jesus. Y'all have kids in school? We got kids? Yeah. No, sir. You don't have kids that are, okay, so make sure you have kids that are about to get off the bus or something.
How were they living in that nasty house? Maybe they had just moved in. I don't know, but nothing was unpacked. Everything is in boxes. Nothing. It's just strange to me. The house is a fucking mess. Yeah. I mean, okay. That's bad. It looks like they just got there.
Oh my God, Belle. Oh my God. So, see. Oh my God. Hey, come on. Yeah, so we'll get you a break out here. For sure. Your fiance? Fiance? Yeah. Okay. What kind of so Tony's pregnant. She's pregnant? I don't know. She's trying to be pregnant. Okay. Did she take medication? All medication does there. Okay. And when was the last time that you saw? Is she Gabriella? Yes. When was the last time that you saw her before you found her?
Did y'all see that in the doorway? Look at this. You see those fingerprints? That might be dry blood. Look at that. You see that? Look by the light switch right here. Hold on. Hold on. Let me back it up. Look by the light switch on the trim. You see that? The dark stuff right there, right here, and then right here. I'm going to move my thing. You see it? I mean, that could just be dirty hands, but it looks like, yeah, it looks like it could be dry blood, right? You see how the cop kind of stopped a little bit? I bet you he saw it. Hold on.
And when was the last time that you saw?
Look, right there. You could see it real good. I mean, the house doesn't look clean, but it's something.
Gabriella? Yes. When was the last time that you saw her before you found her like this?
So he's clearly having some sort of nervous anxiety attack or something or whatever, nervous anxiety. They are literally over there cleaning her, picking her up, tending to the dead body, and he's just running around the house like a mad person, right? Oh, hey, Pam. Investigator. I don't know, whatever it is. I'm just nosy. Hey, Pam.
That she has, those little balls that she has up there, I don't know. I don't even know she has them. She keeps them in her back. She keeps them in her backpack. Come on. She keeps them in her backpack. She's in the stock. Don't have this yet. We'll get you one out here. Hold on for a second. Oh my God. Tell us. Hold on a second. So I got here kind of late, so tell me what's going on with it. So I came downstairs, I woke up, okay, and she was already laying on the couch. Okay, she was asleep. She was already laying on the couch when I got down. But beforehand, I don't know if she was going up or down. I don't know, is what I'm saying. And so I came down, and then she was laying on the couch on her side. And then I'm like, hey man, what do you want to eat? And she's wouldn't say anything. And that's why I called 911 immediately. I'm like, what is going on? Because waking up, I'm like, what the hell happened? Like, I was sleeping a long time. I was trying to figure out. I don't know what happened. Is she bleeding? What's up? Is she bleeding? Was she? Yeah. Like actually, I didn't see her just now. Oh, I didn't go up to her. I don't know. So what is the
Someone was bleeding because of the blood going down the stairs. Yeah, that's it. It was probably her. If you look back in the shower, back was the book right there. I don't know if she like slipped, like fell or tried to get down. I didn't hear it. Like you can't really hear much. Do y'all sleep in separate rooms? Yeah, because we have to put another bed there in my bedroom. I don't know if she like when she got there, she felt like I have no idea. Wait, what? What'd you say? They're still working on it. Hold on, questions, because let's see, I do this. Thanks. Okay. He just made a comment about, I don't know if she died, if she died in there, I think she died in the shower downstairs. There's blood, handprints, and bloody handprints on the walls, so they got just they're all that just do it on the right side. No eating. Just hang them in the car or something. So they can go
Isn't it crazy that you have to have a job where you come to provide help and assistance and people just sit there and just fucking lie the whole time? Like, how is it that you can help with a situation when you're being given, like, your narrator is a unreliable narrator, you're not getting accurate information? So these guys are hearing, I mean, they're seeing one thing and this guy is giving them all the wrong information.
Hold on right now before we go in. Please give us a minute.
I'm saying I'm waiting for them to go ahead and put him in his handcuffs. But this guy played for the Jets. Look at that. He's standing there in the red jumpsuit, and then look, that was probably the last time that he was in his like shorts and whatever, his sneakers and sweatshirt, just enjoying outside. And now he's in shackles and a jumpsuit, standing in the Justice Center, hearing them throw around death penalty. Like it's...
Okay, so when's the last time you actually talked to her? When she talked back to you?
I saw that yesterday evening about 6 I didn't
You've been here the whole time?
about it.
Yeah.
No, Brandon did some errands.
When did you come back?
I came back in about like 5, 10 minutes. Like after, but she's still waiting. Yeah, she's still waiting. And then I came back and I was like,
Yeah, they're getting ready to put the handcuffs on.
That's the extent of the state's improvement of that video. Just a little. Okay.
Okay, let's talk about this real quick. So what they said was, okay, so let me just read this to you guys too. This is from February 5th. So this is Hamilton County, Tennessee. An affidavit releases gruesome new details in the murder of a former NFL player's girlfriend who was found dead with signs of severe trauma inside a, forgive me if I mispronounce this, is it Ottawa home on Thursday. The affidavit says Hamilton County deputies were called to the home on Snow Cone Way around 1:34 p.m. When deputies from Tricon Volunteer Fire Department arrived. They discovered the woman's body. The affidavit says deputies identified the woman's boyfriend, Darron Lee, at the scene. Lee is a former NFL linebacker who played for Ohio State and the New York Jets. Lee told deputies he found the woman unconscious on the couch and believes she may have fallen in the shower, according to the affidavit. Investigators said the condition of the home raised concerns. The affidavit says there were no signs of forced entry, but the deputies found broken glass in the kitchen, blood evidence in several areas of the home. Investigators said the amount of blood at the location and the blood did not match Lee's explanation. Cleaning supplies were found in unusual places. The affidavit says Lee was detained while deputies secured the home and obtained a search warrant. Investigators said Lee refused to answer questions. Detectives reported Lee had injuries consistent with physical struggle, including injuries to his face, hands, and chest. The affidavit says blood was also found inside the case of his cell phone. His cell phone and clothing were seized as evidence. Lee was later taken into Hamilton County Jail. During the search of the home, the affidavit says investigators documented multiple injuries to the victim, including suspected stab wounds to her abdomen, severe bruising to her head and eyes, bruises to her arms and torso, and what appeared to be a human bite mark on her shoulder. She was taken to the forensic center for an autopsy. The affidavit states forensic testing showed blood had been cleaned from areas of the home, suggesting the attempt to conceal evidence. Alcohol, narcotics, and a firearm were also found inside the residence, according to the affidavit. Based on the evidence, investigators charged Darron Lee with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. The former NFL linebacker has been charged with his girlfriend's murder after her body was found in a home near Ottawa Elementary School Thursday, according to Hamilton County Sheriff's Office. On the afternoon of February 5th, HCSO says deputies were dispatched to the residence on Snow Cone Way to report of a CPR in progress. The unusual, upon the arrival, first responders located the female victim and attempted life-saving measures. HCO says she died from her injuries. HCO Criminal Investigator Services detectives responded. Preliminary findings indicate that the victim's death was a result of a homicide. The victim's boyfriend, Darron Lee, was identified as a suspect and was taken into custody at the scene. The date of birth for Lee in the booking system matches the ESPN profile of a former linebacker with the same name. Lee went to Ohio State and was a first-round pick in 2016 drafts for the New York Jets. He played for several other teams up until 2021. Hold on. HCSO says that Lee is charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. Additional charges could be pending following the outcome of the investigation. Lee was also arrested for assault and domestic violence in Ohio in 2023. Lee pushed a woman against a wall, throwing her to the floor and striking her face and head 8 to 9 times with a closed fist, according to the 2023 arrest report. In an arrest report in a separate incident, Lee allegedly threw a phone at a different woman, which struck her in the head, causing her ear to bleed, grabbing her neck while punching a pillow beside her head, causing red marks to her neck. He's a whole problem, y'all. Anyway, I feel bad for this woman, obviously sustained an awful traumatic situation. Let's see what this is.
Former NFL linebacker sits in the Hamilton County Jail charged with.
Hold on. Okay. All right, give it just a second, guys. I don't know. I'm just crazy lagging.
Murder. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Chapman-Whitfield.
And I'm Josh Rowe. The sheriff's office reports Darron Lee was taken into custody on Thursday after his girlfriend was found dead at a home in Ottawa.
And News Channel 9 Sarah Hauer is live from the scene with more on this investigation. Sarah.
Kim, Josh, I'm here at that home on Snowcone Way in Ottawa, where just a couple of hours ago, investigators removed the yellow caution tape at the property where police say a former NFL player is accused of killing his girlfriend. The Hamilton County Sheriff's Office says deputies were called here Thursday afternoon to a report of CPR in progress. When they arrived, they found a woman inside suffering from severe injuries. Police say she later died at the scene. The victim's boyfriend, Darron Lee, is now charged with first-degree murder and tampering with evidence. Lee was a former first-round NFL draft pick selected by the New York Jets in 2016 and played for several teams before his career ended in 2021. Here you can see Lee in Jets practice footage and then on the field at Ohio State where he starred as a linebacker. In the affidavit, investigators say the injuries and blood evidence found throughout the home were, quote, not consistent with the defendant's statements, and that evidence indicated an attempt to remove, alter, or conceal blood evidence related to the violent crime. The affidavit states the victim had what appeared to be a 1-inch penetrating stab wound on her abdomen, and investigators documented what appeared to be a large circular human bite mark on the victim's shoulder. Police say more charges could be pending as that investigation continues. Live in Ottawa, Sarah Hauer, News Channel 9.
All right, Sarah, thank you very much. Court records also show Lee was arrested and
So, yeah, this is the guy who consulted ChatGPT for a script of what to tell the police when they arrive.
Ohio on domestic violence-related charges involving separate incidents. One arrest report says he allegedly threw a phone at a woman which, quote, struck her in the head, causing her ear to bleed, grabbing her neck while punching the pillow beside her, causing red marks to her neck, end quote. We'll have more on Lee's arrest online and on the air throughout the weekend.
Okay. All right, guys. Crazy, right? I know I have the full affidavit, so I'll have to get it for you guys and give you some more details. If I can find the full hearing, we'll go ahead and get into the hearing. But yeah, crazy, right? Just absolutely nuts. Guys, I'll be back a little bit later on, and make sure if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to this channel, hit the thumbs up for me. I do appreciate it. Let's see. These criminals are going to learn not to share their I don't know. You know what? I feel like well, again, one of the words is panic. Let me say two things really quick. Let me thank I'm going to use initials. Let me thank someone with the initials RS who sent me something like 10 minutes ago. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yesterday AS, and also yesterday BB. Okay, those three people. I responded back in Cash App, but thank you so much. I appreciate you so much, and I responded back in Cash App, so you know I did receive. But just thank you to all my Cash App friends. Okay. Yeah, I think people, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. It's hard to get yourself into the mind frame of somebody who is that out of control that would do such a thing. And you're having to try to kind of figure out what to do or try to get some sort of advice. I don't know. I mean, I'm mystified. I really am. I don't get it. First of all, it's stupid to consult Google and ChatGPT because if you're not successful with your endeavor, your searches will be. So there's a case I'm kind of following right now. This person's she's not going to be in court for another few weeks, but there was a murder here in Charlotte. I think I told you about it. There's a woman whose husband, he died a couple months ago, and they tried to say it was a suicide. And why they collected her phone, I don't know. Maybe they were suspicious of her from the beginning, which I guess they were, according to the affidavit. Anyway, roughly about 6 weeks after his death, they arrested her for murder. And now they released her on bond, but she's on house arrest, and they have her for first degree murder. And they say that she was doing searches like what to do if your husband wants to divorce you and you have no money. I guess she was a housewife, because I actually saw the probate records and their marriage license. I guess they got married in 1995. So they've been married for a while. They have 25-year-olds, and I guess she didn't know what to do. She didn't know what to do. So I guess she decided to kill him. That's what they're saying. And maybe it was for the insurance money. So she didn't want him to leave her, and she stood to gain money from his insurance policy, and they arrested her. So it's going to be interesting. So she, people, and it was partially the reasons why they arrested her were from the forensic exam from her phone, that she did some very suspicious Google searches that make them think that, that she did not have, that she may be responsible for his murder. Thank you so much. I did hit 25K. Yay. Yes. And thank you guys, because you guys, everyone who subscribes, you guys did it. So I appreciate it. This is like nothing that I could have done without everyone. So I appreciate everybody who hit the subscribe button. We had a lot of new people come through yesterday, which took us over that number. We were getting close. And we would have hit it eventually. But yesterday, a lot of new people came through. And thank you to all of the people who came and hit the subscribe button. And you're definitely more than welcome to be here. We're happy that you're here, and make sure to tap in. You want me to do a deep dive? I've been deep in Corey Richins' case. Yeah, I suspect she's going to jail. I feel like Corey Richins' case about like I felt about Brandon Banfield. Like I'm just waiting for them to go ahead. It was like watching Monica Simontelli. You know what I mean? Like you already know. Like I feel like I already know that she's going to be convicted. Thank you so much. But you guys, this is like a group effort, so I almost feel like we hit this number together. So it's just as much of a congratulations for you guys who come and support, who enjoy this channel, as much it is for me. It just shows that there's a growing number of you guys who are here, who are enjoying, and I appreciate y'all so much. So thank you. So thank you for bubbling that up, because you know how I am about saying stuff. I just come and I show up and I just do my thing, and that's it. So, but I appreciate you guys. And thanks to everybody on Facebook too. Facebook had a surge yesterday too. Facebook was enjoying the Diamond Vaden coverage yesterday. They definitely got into the Jarvis coverage on my channel, but it was the Diamond Vaden, Vaden sentencing. If you guys want to go back and listen to Diamond's speech, I would love to come back and go live on Diamond's speech, her lawyer like fumbling and bubbling. I don't know if Pam is still here or not, but Pam, I would love for you to listen to that and give us your reaction, because baby, I don't know what was going on with that lady's lawyer, why she was saying so. I mean, she was saying the things she was saying for a reason, but I just don't think that they were effective, and why she did not stop her client from incriminating people further in her speech. She implicated two people and named names. It was pretty crazy. It was crazy. So yeah, that was nuts. So we might need to just run that back in Annette. Annette never disappoints. I'm so glad that Jarvis is off to prison. But Annette is always bringing a certain amount of drama and baby, a mess. George. Yes, poor George. Rest in peace to George and condolences to the family. There was somebody came to my comments on Facebook and said, "Rest in peace, June." And the family was calling him June. So I don't know if he was like a June bug or junior. Well, he is a junior, right? So George Cox Jr. So the family seems to call him June. And yeah, someone commented, "Rest in peace, June." So just sad that he had to be done that way. And I mean, even this woman, who is the fiance, the girlfriend. This is one thing I wonder about Darron Lee, since we're just pivoting off of that real quick. The thing to me is, remember when he was upstairs with the police officer and he said something about she was trying to get pregnant. Do you think sometimes people react very oddly when babies are in the mix? I just wonder, had she, or will they find out that she was pregnant? Was he concerned about a pregnancy, and did he flip out because maybe he didn't want a kid? I don't know, but sometimes that is not a good reason, but that is sometimes a reason why intimate partners will freak out on the other partner. Possibly, I don't know. It was just random that he mentioned that she was trying to get pregnant. So, and then he stabbed her in her stomach. Why would you do that? That's random. If you're going to kill somebody, I guess you could stab them anywhere depending on if you're fighting, but it's just, in the back of your mind, even in a fit of rage, that she's trying to have your baby, why you would stab her in her stomach. So anyway, this is obviously a developing story and just, interesting to think about. So anyway, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. I will come back and we'll talk about some more things. We might do one or two of the Nesto videos, maybe later on this evening or tomorrow. So if you're waiting on that, we'll get to it. So that's it. But if you guys want to talk about Diamond and Annette, I do kind of want to have it's certainly not a laughing matter, but those speeches were just absolutely off the charts bizarre. Okay. Definitely bizarre. And I was shocked. I was really shocked that Annette could not muster up one thing to say about her own granddaughter being deceased. And also sitting in front of the man who sexually abused another granddaughter. So let's also remember that. I mean, I'm sure you guys know this. You've been watching the case just like me. But yes, Nazaya is the, let's say, victim number one with the homicide. But she has another granddaughter who was also a victim. You have two granddaughters, victims. Your own daughter is acting a fool in the gallery and doesn't even get to stand up for her own child and give a statement. Like, these people are clowns. Annette is such a freaking clown. Who goes to something as an adult where you're supposed to stand and represent for the family and put on a show and never even get to really stand up and speak for the victims? That's why Tawana Butts really, obviously her comments were so appreciated, because to have the one adult in the room who stood up and spoke, and represented for victims was, very, very touching. And clearly she has a lot of heart about what happened, and really is having, appropriate disgust and heartbreak over what's happening. So They all knew he was a predator. He was a known predator. Known predator. Annette was worried about that. The money she was getting from Nazia's dad. Let's not forget about that, because he was caking off Annette. And he was also paying child support. And Annette was worried about those foster care checks and whatever money she was getting from the state, because Nazia was her, she was the official guardian, and she might have been getting a check for Nazia. So she was getting money she was getting money according to the dad before he passed away. And then she would have been getting some sort of check. I don't know if it was a SSD or whatever she was getting. She was getting something. Annette was probably waiting for the first of every month for all of those deposits to come through for every single type of assistance and money that she was collecting for every single head in that house. There's no doubt in my mind about that. No doubt in my mind. We'll come back and talk about it. We'll talk about it this evening. Yeah, it's awful. Awful. Okay, you guys, we'll talk about it. I would like to talk about those two speeches and then open the call in. So if you guys have anything you'd like to say or have any comments you'd like for me to read on it, but I would like to revisit those two, because those were the standouts for me as far as what's really going on here. Like, did this actually really just happen? Anyway, guys, you guys take care. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys a little bit later on. Okay? Bye, guys.